What is a relationship? I've spent the better part of 40 years trying to understand relationships and the problems they bring with them. And I've come to discover three things about relationships. The first thing I discovered was what the definition of a relationship was. The second thing I discovered was that we've been doing it all wrong. And the third thing I discovered is how to do it right. But before I tell you about these three things, I want to share with you why this subject, relationship, is very special to me. Because I forgot. It is very special to me. It's so special I put it in a nice secret dark place in the back of my mind so I'll never forget it. And it's sitting back there someplace. But it is a special topic because I tend to view certain periods of my life as a chapter in my book of life. My first chapter was the child. The second chapter was the war and the warrior within. The third chapter was the healer emerges. It was during halfway through the healer chapter that I actually named that chapter and the prior two. My next chapter is relationships. And it's significant not just because I spent over 40 years trying to understand it, but also because it's the first time that I am naming the chapter at the beginning of the chapter. Instead of reflecting on my life and naming those chapters based upon what had happened, I am now naming the chapter and going to direct my life according to the way I wanted that chapter to be written. Now, it's not only significant because of that, and it's significant because today is the first day of that chapter. And it's also the day I turned 60.
Oh.
Now, Wikipedia defines relationship as a way in which two people are connected, or the state of being connected. For most of us, we tend to view a relationship as an emotional attachment or emotional relationship. And we even put little titles on it. We say boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, lover, friend. And this is because this allows us to understand how this person fits within our life. And I find that to be a very narrow-minded view of what a relationship is, and also quite selfish. And unfortunately, that's how most relationships are. There was an article on Wikipedia on divorce rates, and it quoted statistics from the United Nations Statistical Division. And there they said that the divorce rate amongst married people in the United States was 36%. I know you've heard 50% before, but that's actually a statistical error. Vietnam, the last time they reported in 2007, was only 2%. It's probably gone up a little bit by now. The University of Utah conducted a poll to find out the reasons why people get divorced. And the top three reasons why are lack of commitment, 73%, arguing, 56%, and infidelity, 55%. And it makes you wonder, what are they arguing about? Now I want you to close your eyes for a minute. And I will ask you to open them back up. But visualize in your mind a large tree, a nice big trunk. And this tree is growing up, and out of this tree there's big branches that are going out of it, and out of those branches more branches, and then there's many, many leaves growing out. It creates this big canopy over the top of the tree, and it protects the rest of the tree. Now, go back to the trunk and think of a small little twig that is growing out of the main trunk. completely separate from the rest of the tree, from the rest of the branches, not protected, completely exposed to the elements. That is how most of us start our relationships, away from the rest of our life. This tree represents our tree of life. And the first heavy wind, snowfall, the first calamity, or a hungry deer comes by and takes this twig away, and the twig goes, the relationship and the person leaves. Now I have a branch on my tree, and this branch has been growing ever since it was a little sapling. It has been growing with the main tree. And it has been, well, you can open your eyes now. I still see some people with their eyes closed. Either that or they're sleeping. I have this big branch, and right now it's big and it's strong. And the reason why it's big and strong is because it has been nourished by the tree with unconditional love. I am going to start all of my relationships on that branch of friendship. And it doesn't matter how I feel about the person, whether I have any type of emotional attachment, whether I like them, they're hot. So, I really want to date her. Okay. Regardless of how I feel about that person, they're going to start on that branch. And every other type of relationship that I have from that, because it is nurtured from my life and nurtured from the friendship branch, will actually survive or have a much higher chance of surviving. If it doesn't survive, that's okay, because the rest of it stays. It never goes away. You still have that friendship, and it continues to grow stronger and stronger. And I can have many types of friendships: coffee friends, beer friends, Saigon Toastmaster friends. And if any of you go away, the relationship and you actually don't go away. You're still there in the friendship. Now, I believe that this is the healthiest way in creating relationships. One that is based upon unconditional love, respect, and honor. That's it. Right off the top. Thank you, Toastmaster.